Okay. All right. Well, thanks and welcome to our hot topic for the last Monday of November. And tonight we're going to be talking about the best 8 weeks of the whole year. And by that, I mean generally the 4 weeks of December and generally the 4 weeks of January. And it's, if you were to actually add it up, it's probably the best 9 weeks of the whole year, but we're going to pretend that it's somewhere in there between 8 and 9 weeks. And I want to talk to you about the concept of the 2-month calendar. At any time in our business, it's always good to look beyond just the current month and to make sure that we're planning for the following month as well. So we always want to be thinking about that 8-week calendar. What happens, though, is that we tend to focus only on the calendar month that we're in because of all the incentives. And because that's the month that's on the screen, right? Okay, it's November. December, whatever. It's November, so I'm thinking about November. What else am I going to sell in November? Who else am I going to bring on in November? And I don't think about December at all. Well, when we're working toward having a business that gives us the same kinds of results every month, when we're working toward having a business that stays solid and doesn't have so many dips throughout the year, we will want to always be watching for the following month. For example, in the month that I'm in, I want to be booking my parties for the following month. I don't want to wait till the 1st of December to book my December parties. Ideally, and it's not that we have to, but because we only need 1 week to hostess coach any party. We can pull any party off in 7 days. But we run a business and we want to treat it like a business. And so our goal then is to book parties from November parties for the month of December. But now we're going to be talking about the concept of December into January. And the reason I love talking about December into January is because it is completely different from any other 8-week period of the entire year. And it's because of this little thing in the middle that causes people to go brain dead about their businesses called Christmas. And what happens is that 10 to 14 day span in there with all the Christmas parties and all the fun and the gift wrapping and the baking and the traveling, people's businesses volunteer themselves out of their calendar and out of their thoughts and out of their lives. So what's the problem with that? Can I just pick up where I left off in January? Yes, you can. It just doesn't always happen because, again, we are independent consultants and we're volunteers. And so when you extrapolate out into what does that actually mean to us, it means I don't have to do this if I don't want to. And if I'm really busy the first week of January with whatever, and my kids are getting back to school, or suddenly I have a business trip, and next thing I know, it's the 3rd week of January and I have no parties, and now it's almost too late to do January. And to keep that baseline income that I want to have going. So what we're going to talk about is a couple of key components and ways that we can look at December and January from a money-making perspective and how we can keep our January parties on the calendar. And ways to bridge that gap of the holiday coma. Let's talk for a minute about December, the month of December. A number of years ago, at one of our leader trainings, somebody came in and gave us a training all about how to analyze each month. And you analyze each month from the perspective of what are the advantages to doing a party in that particular month, and what are the objections that we will hear about doing a party. So let's pretend it's May. And in the month of May, the weather's a little better. You're not going to have snowstorms, so you won't get cancellations due to bad weather. Another good thing is that people might be buying things for graduations. They might be looking for bridal jewelry for June and July, and summer brides. They might be just excited to be opening the pool, and they want to do a little pool party in the month of May. So those would be some of the things that are advantages to May. These are the things that we think about. Why would a hostess want to do a party in the month of May? What are some of the objections to the month of May? Well, graduations, kids finishing school, all this end of the year parties, extra activities, soccer banquets, all those kinds of things. So you want to look at every month from those two perspectives. What are the key advantages that why somebody would want to host, and what are some of the objections that we're going to hear so that we know what to do with them. So we're going to talk about December, and then we're going to talk about January. So tell me what you think some of the advantages are to December parties. Why would somebody want to do a December party?
Christmas shopping.
Okay. For who?
For who?
Yeah.
Oh, for their family, for their friends, for their
Right.
neighbor, for a coworker.
And who would be doing the shopping?
Well, my hostess.
Okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And her guests.
That's
yeah.
right.
Right. So both. It's both, right? It isn't just the hostess. It's also the friends. Okay. What else?
Your house is nicely decorated for Christmas.
Oh, nice. I like that. The house is already decorated for Christmas. Why not have people over? I like it. That's really good. Shanna, what were you?
And a great opportunity for girls to have a girls' night before they have all the family over, where they have all the kids and everything, just a few hours for them to focus before they have to do all that.
Very good. I like it. What else? Anything else? Just wondered. Good. What about some fundraisers? Could you do something for the food bank where all the guests bring canned goods to donate to the food pantry down the street? Becomes an opportunity. People tend to be pretty generous around the holidays. An opportunity to host a fundraiser. Okay, what about objections to December parties? Why wouldn't somebody want to do a December party?
Because they have so many other commitments during December.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the big one. What else? Anything else? So that's probably the biggest one that you're going to hear. So don't be surprised when you hear that. And what you're going to want to do is find a way to say something like, I know everybody's got so much going on this month, but your house is already decorated for Christmas. Your friends all need to go Christmas shopping. They may as well do it at your house so that you can too for free, right? So you want to address what you know the key objection is going to be, and you counteract it ahead of time with what you know the objections are. I mean, with what you know the advantages, the really true advantages are. We're not making this stuff up. This is good stuff. House is already decorated. Have your friends over. Or it's a reason to decorate. It's a reason to get your decorations up. I used to do my Santa's Secret sample sale a little earlier in the year, like a little earlier in December, just to make sure I would get all my decorations done. And now I make sure that I have to have my tree up. It's like my drop dead deadline for having my Christmas tree up is my sample sale. Works for me too. I use it on myself. You got to decorate if they're all going to be coming over. Okay. So do you see how that can work? So when you're offering a party, hey, why don't you do a party in December? I know everybody's so flipping busy, but your house is already going to be decorated and your friends all need to shop. Right? And that's the simple way to offer December parties. Let's talk about some other ways of selling in the month of December besides parties. What else? What can we do besides parties? In addition to parties that are unique to the month of December. Because again, we're always looking at each month individually. What are the objections, but what are the opportunities that we might have that are unique to this month?
Host our own open house.
Love it. What would you do at your open house? Like what?
I don't exactly know.
Okay.
Bling, bubbly, bling, and presents. Who knows?
I love
It'll
it.
definitely have bubbly or wine, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
You can do a fun cocktail, like a holiday cocktail. I think somebody did one last year. It was like blue ice, or I can't remember what it was.
Oh, like, what was that?
I don't remember, but it was some sort of a snowflakey kind of thing, and it was
it was
specific
pretty.
drink with, what's that?
It was pretty.
It was. It tasted horrible because I made it, but but then, I mean, just some drink and cookies, or like I do with my team. We do the cookie exchange, but you could also do a holiday cookie party for your customers, or with have that as a theme with one of your hostesses.
I love it.
I've got a bunch, so let everybody answer first.
That's great. What else? What other things can you do in the month of December that might be a little bit unique?
Something I want to do is I want to reach out to all of my customers and contacts and send them a wish list. Ooh. And have them complete the wish list and either give it to their spouse, their family, whoever might be shopping for them, and have them contact me.
Nice.
That way they get what they want, and it makes it easy on people shopping for them.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Lori, you're muted, darling.
I was going to say, along that same lines, you could go back through your order forms and look at wish list items and reach out to that person and see if you could, reach out to their significant other or something if they were, looking for ideas for gifts.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. I love the wish list idea. This concept of personal shopping. I had a scenario for the last, this is my 10th year actually. I do Santa's secret sample sale. And I'll put out all of the retired jewelry that I still have from the past, and everything that's retiring, and I'll put it out. Everything is in a box, open on my dining room table, and everything has a price on it in a little sticker. And I leave it all up, and I do it on a particular day with chili and cornbread and stuff. It's sort of an annual thing, and then I leave it up because then I post to my, just to people on Facebook, hey, I've got this shopping time still open. Like, I'm home Tuesday from 2 to 5. I'm also going to be home Wednesday night from 7 to 9. I'm not doing anything. This is another time for you to come by and shop off of my table. I've actually gotten to where I've had people contact me and say, hey, can you come over at 2 o'clock on Wednesday? And I'll say, I'm not going to be there, but my front door is open. Everything's priced. Leave me a check. So, depending on the neighborhood you live in or how well you like these people, you might be able to pull that off too. So, there are ways to make some sales. Here's what you can do with your sample sale money. There are a lot of options. Typically, I just do a little profit taking, and then I use that profit to purchase things that I might want for spring. I might spiff up some of my display pieces if they're not the jewelry, but the actual displays. Like, they're starting to get a little bit worn, I might buy a new tablecloth. If it's getting a little worn, I might buy a new poster. And so what I'll do is ask for checks and cash as much as possible, or even PayPal. And I'll just try to turn that cash into, things like that for maybe to save up for national conference. That could be a way for you to fund going to Glam Jam when you're selling off your samples. You can use it for the new spring collection, but I don't want you to buy jewelry. I really want you to earn it. I want you to get it for free. Because that's what we do. So those are a couple of other ideas. One other thing that I do is, after I do all my sample sales, and I still have a lot of samples sitting there, I number them all, and I actually create a private Facebook group, and I invite all my friends who just love a deal, and I'll snap pictures, like every couple of hours I'll post another picture or two with numbers in it and prices attached, and they just tell me what numbers they want, and I'm like, sold, 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 and I set them aside with their names on there. It's quite a production. It goes on for about 2 days. But man, I sold like $1,500 last year doing that. Just samples that I just wanted to, that were old and retired. So that's something fun. What about last minute parties? What do you all think about saying to friends, hey, why don't I come to your office and set up in your office next Thursday, and today's Friday or something. So that it's not a whole lot of fuss, not a lot of muss, just let me just come set up. It's super simple and quick. What about on a Saturday in a salon? What about where do guys go? They go to the gym, right? Find out about like the local gym that's kind of privately owned. Go in there and say, hey, you got a lot of guys who come in here. They don't want to go shopping any more than you do. Let me come in here and set up, and I'll donate 10% to the charity that you guys all support, right? And then you've got sort of cash and carry sort of type things that these guys can, the he-men in the gym can buy. And the ladies too, the ladies can create a wish list. So just little ways of reaching out to people if you have the time for December. So those are some of the ways of building as much in sales as possible in December. So 2 advantages to this. One, obviously you're making money. But the second thing is that you're touching so many more people than usual. And interestingly enough, what you're going to find is the more people that you sell to and are grateful to and show that extra special customer service to, you're going to have more parties in the spring because of it. You're going to have more new consultants in the spring because a lot more people are wearing your jewelry. They're connecting with you right before the holidays. And then after the holidays, when you come back and say, how do you love your new pieces? Why don't you think about doing what I do here in January? We've got a new kit. We have a new spring line. Why don't you just come in and do what I do? And so if you're only selling to 10 people in December versus selling to 100 people in December, you can see the difference in the level of, what's the word? Just the fever pitch starts to rise.
Is that exposure?
Yeah, exposure. It really is exposure. But the exposure turns into future business. And that's the important component of December. So let's talk about January in the same way, but a little more quickly. And then I'm going to show you how to bridge between December and January so that all those good intentions for January don't fade away. So what are some of the things you're going to hear about January parties that are negative?
Nobody has money
Right.
after the holidays.
Right. That's the big one. Uh-huh.
Right. Chris, we're still recovering from Christmas.
What is recovering? What do you think they mean by recovering? Just money-wise?
I mean, I think it's probably money and schedule.
Ah.
Just kids home from school or, people visiting,
yeah.
holiday parties, recovering, all that.
Right. Tired.
Right.
Right. Okay. What else? Anything else? How about the advantages to January parties?
All right. So this is one of the questions I had. In January, is that when the spring catalog begins?
This year, yes.
Okay.
This year, yes. There's talk about changing that for next year, but for this year, it'll be probably December 20th, actually.
Okay.
I'll even have some of the new pieces by December 3rd, but I won't be here to get them. I know, Michelle. I know.
Of course, you could text us pictures.
I mean, I won't even be here at my house to receive them. I'll be in Florida.
Someone needs to be there. Someone needs to be there. Oh, that's right. You'll be here.
I'll be with you guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think you should leave the door unlocked and let one of us go in and get them.
Absolutely.
I should leave the door unlocked. The only one of you who lives near me is actually Liz. Liz, come on out and get my box.
That's your job, Liz.
How does one get the box sent to them? I want a box. I want my own box.
Wait, who said that? That was brilliant.
It's called Senior Executive Director.
That was Kim. That was Kim that said that. You know me, I love a challenge. How do I get my box?
Good job, Kim. Senior Director. Senior Director.
Oh. All right. I'll keep that thought.
Keep going, baby.
Yes.
Keep going. So,
will January be double host dollars?
I don't have the answer to that, and they won't tell me that or any of us until the last second. Well, they might tell us that on December 20th. Or they might tell us that on December 20th. They do it differently every year. And honestly, what we say to people is every year January is one of our best host rewards of the entire year. So we say historically it's one of the best host reward years or months of the year. I've never seen them not do it. But I have seen them announce it on December 20th, like the day after we close the fall catalog. I have seen them, and I've seen them start it then too. And then sometimes they don't start it then. So we never know. They don't do the same thing twice, usually.
When can we buy our spring, summer jewelry?
I think we'll be able to start buying it. I'll know for sure on November 28th because there's a conference call about how all that's going to work, the whole flow chart. But my guess is that it's December 20th. That's a guess. But what, Liz, do you think so?
I was going to say I have the same guess. I wasn't sure if I was muted or not muted, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think it'll be, just based on past history, because we close the month on December 19th. It's not the month, but we close out our sales pre-Christmas.
And they posted the special, December host and guest special, and it said December 1 to 19.
It did? Oh, I'm glad you noticed that. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. So the host special.
Do we know what that is yet?
Yeah, that one's posted. I think I had it open, but I think
I
posted.
Okay.
It's just in your downloads. It's the normal $100 thing.
For 19.
Yeah, something like it. It's one of those, but yes.
Okay.
So let's think about it. So we've got the new spring catalog. We also will still have the old catalog. Everything that's in the old catalog is not retiring until
January 31 or until supplies run out.
Right.
So would you bring both sets of catalogs to a January party?
No. Personally, not me. I would not, because I'm not that smart. I like to keep things streamlined. But you're totally welcome to. I just think it creates confusion.
Yeah, chaotic, yes.
Yeah. So my recommendation personally is keep it simple and just bring the spring stuff. Bring the spring's catalog. Now think about it. Let's pretend it is double host dollars a month. What that means is for every party over $600 in retail sales, the hostess for $19 can double her free jewelry. Free, in quotes, jewelry. So if it's $1,000 party, I always use that as my baseline. $1,000 party normally would give her $300. She would get $600 in jewelry for $19 upcharge, plus tax and shipping. So can we. So the first thing that we want to book is our own party for January, because when we do $1,000 party, we get $600 in new spring jewelry, $600 in free jewelry, aside from tax and shipping. So that's the first party that you're going to want to do. The second thing that you're going to want to consider is this concept of launch party plus 4, because when we can book a launch and 4 more parties, we set the springboard for February and March. Think about it. If you can book 2 parties at every party, even if you don't book 2 parties from your own, you book 2 parties from the other 4 parties, you've got 8 more parties on the calendar for February, March. That's a great business. And again, the goal is to have a baseline of income every month from a stable number of parties. So other reasons that women would want to do a January party. Here's what happens. Think of the mindset. They take down all the Christmas decorations and now it's like, oh, I'm sad, right? I want to be with my friends. I need to go to a Blizzard and Bling party.
That's right.
Blizzard, Bellinis, and Bling. Throw a little alcohol in there maybe if you have to. Or, cupcakes if you have to. Whatever, right?
Who's laughing? Is that Lori?
What?
I'm laughing at Blizzard, sorry.
in Florida and North Carolina, I can see it right now. I'm sure that's going to happen. And then another thing that happens is that women sometimes end up getting money for Christmas. I know my dad is so sweet and generous. He does not know what to get for my sister and me for Christmas. And so he always very discreetly hands me a little envelope, Merry Christmas, Betsey. So I can take that and spend it on jewelry. If I know ahead of time that there is a jewelry party coming up with Touchstone Crystal. A lot of women end up with returns money. Something has to go back, didn't fit, wrong color, and they couldn't quite replace it, so they ended up getting the returns money. If they know they have that Touchstone Crystal jewelry party, they're going to want to save it for that. So here's the key. We want to paint, again, we want to go back to this concept of how do we offer for January. So the way we offer for January is, I know that the prevailing wisdom is that nobody has any money in the month of January after Christmas, but women are bored because all the fun is over. They didn't get what they wanted. And I always put like a smiley face, like a googly-eyed face after that, because that's snarky, but it's funny. They didn't get what they wanted. And they want to see their friends instead of their family now. So, you can come up with this little list of things and reasons why women would actually want to do a January party. And so, we have to use that mindset of, we know that there are objections to January parties, but there are so many other reasons that women would want to do January parties, including double host dollars, theoretically. I'm not allowed to say what it is. And the new spring line, which makes everybody think spring. So we have ways of doing that now, but let's talk about, well, how do we get a launch +4? Well, it all happens from December. Yeah, you're going to book a couple parties on January 10th for January 27th and 28th. You can. You absolutely can do that. But it's kind of nice to go to sleep on Christmas Eve going, Santa already brought me 5 parties for January. Think how good that would feel. And what if you employed a really great system for making sure that those parties are going to stick? January is the worst month of the entire year for parties canceling. And it's because of the Christmas coma. People don't come out of it till around January 8th. And then they've forgotten all about their party, that it's coming up. They have forgotten that they needed to invite people. So what happens is, what if you get the parties on the calendar and you say, hey, let's do a save the date for your January 18th party or your January 10th or your January 29th party. All those women are going to be thinking about saving money that they can bring to your party in January with the new spring line. The second thing you're going to want to do is, as soon as you can get your hands on the new spring catalog, get that hostess her catalog and get her to make that wish list for the new spring line, because that will keep her engaged more than anything. If you can get it to her during Christmas week, even better. Because her party will be open, even though it's not till January, you're going to open her party, send out the save the dates, help her do that, set up the Facebook event, even though it's 5 weeks away, the party's 5 weeks away. And you're going to be posting the photos of new jewelry on those Facebook invitations for her friends so that they can go, oh my gosh, I have to have those 2 new ice bracelets and that necklace that goes with it. I got to figure out how to save money, between now and then. How am I going to make that happen for that January 18th party, right? Or they'll book their own. So the key is to not wait till the last minute to start inviting people. The key is to invite people as early as possible, get her party set up so that she can start taking orders even from the new catalog starting December 20th. Those orders will ship right out. As long as we're allowed to sell out of it by that time. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but they might delay. I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. But regardless, you're going to be able to get orders in early on each week. So those are some of the things that I was thinking about. The more parties you do in January, the stronger your February, March business. The weaker your January calendar, it just does something to our hearts. And then we feel like we're already behind the 8 ball. And I don't want anybody to feel that way. I want you to go into January totally empowered with your own party on the calendar with people invited and 4 more parties at least, if that's your goal for a solid 2019. Book 2 parties from each of those parties. You'll have a great February and March too. Let me look at my notes here, make sure I got everything. And I don't put my face with my glasses on. So, okay, I got all of this. Any questions or ideas about the December, January advantages, objections, and also the bridging between the two? It's a lot, isn't it? But man, if we can take it seriously and be strategic, you're going to maintain your income and increase it. And on top of that, you're going to be reaching so many more people than you have in the past who are going to want to take part in what you're doing in 2019. And that's what this is all about. We want to help women have a great 2019.
Betsy, I think it's worth revisiting your list of people who rescheduled on you or indicated they wanted to host but weren't ready to book them. So go back and that's definitely a group to like hit up.
That's a very good point, Lori. I'm so glad you said that. And that reminds me also of yet another group where we can be strategic. Let's assume it ends up being double host dollars. You can be strategic and you can say to yourself, what neighborhoods do I really want to get into in 2019? What little towns do I really want to be selling in? Who do I know in those areas so that I can actually offer one of my special January dates to somebody I know who lives in that neighborhood, because that will open up the door for me in 2019. And we can be very strategic. This is not all up to chance. Oh, maybe somebody book a party with me. This is about strategy. Where do I really think I can make some headway in 2019? Where can I get the biggest new market for myself? It's not going to be all about all the same hostesses. We want new ones too. But great, and to your point, Lori, a lot of those gals who didn't get their party on the calendar, they're going to be new markets for us also. That's great. Good strategic thinking. That's not to say that you can't go back to your favorite hostesses who have treated you beautifully over the years and say, you know what, you're one of my favorites. You get first pick. You can do that. Okay. Because it's your
one more thing about January, which I didn't have this idea, but I had a couple of hosts say they were interested in booking again, maybe in January, and it was kind of in preparation for Valentine's Day. So it was the idea of getting maybe women together to create a wish list for Valentine's Day for their husbands or something like that. And I thought that was pretty clever.
That's really cute. I actually already booked a January party. I forget the date. It's during the last 10 days of January. It's a co-party with a friend of mine who is a real go-getter here in my town who sells Mary Kay. We are going to do Beauty and the Bling party at a local restaurant on a weeknight and inviting our friends, and we're creating a special sheet. On one side it's Touchstone, the other side it's Mary Kay, and the customer name is at the top, her person that we want to contact, and that person's phone number, and then it's her wish list for Touchstone, her wish list for Mary Kay. We're going to snap a picture of it, send it to that person and say, how can we help you? We can gift wrap, order by this date. We will take care of your order for her and provide personal shopping. So we're excited about that. And because we live in the same town, we know a lot of the same people. There's a little bit of overlap, but she knows people I don't know, and I know people she doesn't know. So we can help each other do this joint party. So you could consider teaming up with somebody that you know and create that kind of a thing. I would do it in it would not be a public event, but I would do it in a restaurant. So it's like neutral turf, not my house, not her home.
Yeah, one of my friends owns a wine bar here, and she stopped me last Saturday and said, am I too late to do one for Christmas, do you think? And I said, well, how about waiting until January and we'll do it for Valentine's Day? And so she was all about that.
That's cute. Or how about both?
Well, yeah. We have a lot of these vendor events everywhere right now, and they're getting so many that you're not getting a lot of people at each one. So, but there doesn't seem to be any Valentine's Day oriented. So she might be breaking new ground.
That's really fun. What a great idea. Love it. Good for you. How fun.
Well, it's else? Them too, right? It gets the business into their place. So
that's very true. New business. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because we know people that they don't. I mean, I love that. I love being able to bring people to a restaurant who have never been there before. I love hearing them say, gosh, I've never been here before. This is really good. That's a great feeling. Anybody else? All right, a lot of food for thought. November is looking awesome. I'm so excited for all of you. A lot of personal records being broken this month. So I'm very excited for you guys. I cannot wait to see how it all turns out. And it's going to be a very busy week. Just post on the team page or call me if you need something. I've got 3 events this week. Got one tomorrow at a corporate office, and then one on Wednesday, and then a big one on Friday. And then I'm coming down to see Missy and the people in Florida, maybe Michelle. We'll see.
Yay, can't wait to see you.
Oh, there's Shanna, yeah. And Shanna, whatever. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Crazy about you all. Congratulations.
Thanks, Betsy.
You all do. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Betsy.
Take care.
Thank you.
Too. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.